The Jerusalem Post say that Israel warns Assad his palaces will be bombed if Iran operations continue. And this comes, of course, after they destroyed the Damascus International Airport, Syria's largest airport, its most important airport, the civilian airport that, again, I've been flown in and out of a million times. They've reduced to rubble. Both of the runways have been completely destroyed. It's really vindictive. You can see they've done these strikes at, in equal increments, so to make sure that all kinds of aircraft are prevented from taking off, light aircraft, heavy aircraft, whatever the case may be. And the Israelis are, of course, when they say Iran operations, they're accusing Syria of, allowing Iran to bring weapons in to give to Hezbollah or whoever else. Now, let me be very clear. This is not something new. Honestly, one of the most important reasons, the whole reason that Syria is in rubbles right now, that there has been this entire war against Syria, is precisely because Syria supports the resistance. This is not something that started last week, that, there are weapons coming in through Syria for Hamas or for Hezbollah or whoever. It's always been like this. Syria does not hide this. Syria is proud of this. You know why? Because it's only in the West. It's only in the West where they say Hezbollah is terrorist organization, Hamas is terrorist organization, this and that. Everyone they don't like is a terrorist and a dictator and all this nonsense. They water down these terms till they don't mean anything. And so what is new here, to an extent, is the Israelis saying that the weapons are coming in through Damascus International Airport. Now, they have bombed this airport many times before, but this time was really the first time you could say that they've completely, absolutely disabled it in such a vindictive manner. And again, these strikes took place on June 9th. And the fact that they're threatening to bomb the presidential palaces, this is... Who do they think they are, right? Like, Bennett, the Israeli prime minister, is literally from the United States. This guy's parents come from the US. Every Israeli prime minister, all of them, their parents or the grandparents came from Europe, most of them from Eastern Europe, and now I guess you're the first one who's from the United States. And, who do these people think they are? They're colonizers, and they want to come and start giving orders to the people in the region who've been there for forever. They want to tell Assad that they're going to bomb him and threaten him like he's some schoolboy. What is this kind of language? Again, imagine if Syria said that to the Israelis. And honestly, Syria's been under Israeli occupation for well over 5 decades now, right? Since 1967. So they'd be well within their rights to be upset. And the fact that the Israeli prime minister is meeting now with Ursula von der Leyen, who's the EU commissioner, she just goes there and says, I'm so happy to work with you, and we're going to focus on the regional situation and building a secure Middle East. Yeah, very secure, right? Like how you destroyed the airport in Syria. Very, very secure. That's their idea of security. It means, Israel up, everybody down, and keeping a boot on their necks. And of course, at the same time, they're trying to steal Lebanon's gas. Von der Leyen is saying that Israel is going to help free the EU from depending on Russian energy. Why does she say that now? This timing is crucial because in the last days, you have this ship, this Israeli ship, that has come to the coast of Lebanon to take Lebanon's gas. I'm trying to pull this up on the map so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. This is the Karish off of the coast of Lebanon, the gas field there. So they're trying to take that from Lebanon, the Israelis, not through a negotiation, not through a settlement, no, just sending the ship, right? Let's take the gas. And then they're going to mark, not only will Israel be more energy independent, right? But on top of that, they can appease the Europeans. They can appear as if though they're saviors and they're here to help, and they're going to, give out, reach out their hand to save them from Putin and all of this nonsense, this propaganda that they're already trying to feed you. Yeah, at whose cost, right? At whose expense? At what cost, right? That's what they don't tell you. And of course, it's not surprising. Like, the Golan Heights, which I just mentioned a few minutes ago in Syria, there's also gas there. Sorry, there's also oil there, which they've been drilling for, and they gave licenses to the Americans. They've got no shame. So, and the water is also very important, right? I think 1/3 of the fresh water that the Israeli colonizers drink comes from Syria's Golan Heights. There are a lot of people who are rightfully upset, like myself, saying that this is the time to give Israel the so-called, what they are calling the gut punch. What they're speaking in terms of international relations, that, basically, you can't get away with this stuff. You can't bomb a civilian airport and completely destroy and get away with that. There needs to be a response. And Israel's been getting away with this over and over. They bomb Syria this week, next week. They'll go strike something in Commentator, in Latakia on the Mediterranean coast. And then they'll go strike Damascus, doing whatever they want. And always with the same excuse. Oh, Hezbollah, Hamas. They can't even say the names properly. Hezbollah is bringing weapons. So what? You bring weapons. Who allowed you to get weapons from the Americans to kill us, motherfuckers? And then they go and they say, Ukraine, we need to give them javelins. We need to give them tanks. We need to give them everything right under the sun. Can you imagine if the Russians blew up Kiev airport and they made it look like that? They made it look like this, reduced it to rubble. What do you think Ursula von der Leyen would say about that if this was in Kiev? You think she would tolerate the excuse that, the Ukrainians were bringing in weapons shipments and we just had to strike it, which is what the Russians would hypothetically say. You think she would tolerate that? Of course she wouldn't tolerate that. So what the fuck do you think Syria and the resistance are supposed to tolerate this? I will only close in regards to this headline about Israel warning Assad. I'm only gonna leave, only gonna close by leaving you here with a tweet by Professor Merendi about what Iran will do if Israel tries to bomb the presidential palaces in Syria. We'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna say anything. I didn't say anything.